Okay, so I got on the bus at Martin Luther King Boulevard in Warren Street. I was coming from the swimming pool. I had the baby and I had a couple other bags in my hand. The bus was semi-crowded. It wasn't overly crowded, and so I was trying to get her down first because the bus was still moving. So I wanted to make sure she was settled. I went to look in my purse to see, if I had enough change. Now, I did have 2 Charlie cards. One of the Charlie cards had 60 cents on it, and the other had 20 cents. And I had 40 cents in my pocket. But I knew that if I put the money on either one of those cards, it wouldn't have got counted. It would have just went to the card. So as I'm fumbling through my stuff trying to find the change, she yells out, "Excuse me, you back there, the one that acting like she don't want to play. I'm sick of people, getting on the bus acting like they can get over and don't want to pay." And she's saying this loudly, not only in front of the bus, but in front of my daughter. So at that point, I was like, okay, I was gonna let you know, but you didn't really give me a chance. You seen that I had a small child and some bags with me. "Oh, well, that has nothing to do with me. You knew you didn't have no money when you got on the bus." I said, "Well, I have 40 cents. This is all I have. But I'm going 5 blocks, It's 90 degrees. I'm not feeling well. I'm pregnant. And I just want to get home. Can you make an exception?" "Oh, that's not my problem. You should have figured it out before you got on the bus. That don't got nothing to do with me because I sit in AC all day," was her exact words. So I said, "Well, I don't feel good. I'm with a baby. I don't think I should get off the bus." And she's like, "Well, she pulled the bus over and said, "Well, I'll sit here until you and your baby get off the bus." During this whole time, I still have to attend to Emerald. So I said her name a couple times. At this point, she starts directing her conversation towards Emerald. She starts directing her conversation towards Emerald
and addressing her
directly addressing my daughter and says, "Emerald, you and your mother got to get off the bus. Emerald, you and your mother got to get off the bus." So now, not only is she trying to taunt me, but I feel like she's also taunting my daughter. She's only 3 years old. She doesn't really understand what's going on. So at this point, when the bus has stopped for about 10 minutes, the rest of the passengers are like, "Hey, just let her go. It's not even that serious. She has a baby, this and that." She's like, "Oh, well, I don't care. Emerald and her mother got to get off the bus." So at this point, I'm like, I don't want to hold anybody else up. Other people might have to go get their kids. They have to go to work. I'm just going to get off the bus. I'm exiting the bus. That's when they showed the video. I'm getting off the bus, and as I'm getting off the bus, she said, "That's right, Emerald, you and your mother can get off the bus." And then I said, as I'm walking off, I said, "Well, why do you have to be so mean and miserable?" And then Emerald in turn says, "Why you so mean to my mommy, lady? That's miserable." The bus starts laughing. She got mad. And then she said, "Emerald, you and your mother can get off the bus. It's not my fault. You're broke. You ain't got no money." And she said some other obscenities, like call me the B word. So at that point, I felt like, not only are you trying to taunt me and put me down, but you're disrespecting me in front of my child. I had a cup in my hand, but it was a sippy cup. It was the baby sippy cup of water in it. So I flung the water, but I didn't fling it intentionally trying to hit her, because if I did, number one, the cup would have hit her. If I was trying to, deliberately trying to harm her, that was not my case. I had the child with me. I threw a little bit of water because I was frustrated. I couldn't believe that she was putting a pregnant lady and her baby off the bus in 90-degree weather over a little bit of change. So I threw the water, and it never hit the bus driver. It hit the floor. It all splashed to the floor. She stood up out her seat in a fighting stance. Emerald was coming behind me, because usually when we take the bus, I get off first so I can allow her to come behind me so I can help her down the stairs. That's why it shows her coming behind me. So at this point, I see her charge. Emerald's coming. She literally knocked Emerald out of the way to charge to come get at me. So my first reaction as a mother, when I seen that, I felt like Emerald was in danger. My first reaction was to pick her up and try to run away and get away as fast as possible. That's why it shows in the video that I picked Emerald up and I went to walk the opposite direction. That's when she jumped off the bus, and she came at least 10 feet, because where it actually happened wasn't even at the bus stop. And she hit me in the back of the head. At this point, I'm yelling, I'm pregnant, I got my baby, and I'm shielding my daughter so she doesn't get hit. A couple of the passengers ended up breaking it up. They pulled her off of me. She's still taunting me. She's still trying to fight me. So I'm scared at this point. I don't know what to do. My baby's screaming. She gets back on the bus, stands in a fighting stance again, and is taunting me to get back on the bus so she can fight me.
That's where the video cuts out.
That's where the video cuts out.
Okay.
At that point, like I said, I was scared. I was in shock. My baby was crying. She was taunting me to get back on the bus. So I felt like if those people wasn't there, she could have killed me. I'm pregnant. I could have lost my baby. Emerald could have been physically injured. Anything could have happened, regardless of how upset she was or whatever the case may be. There's no excuse for that. And